Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are, and welcome to NerdTube. It's me, Variant Zam, and Gary Prune. I think he's eating some prunes by the looks of things. How you doing?
I made some chewing gum. I'm all right.
Very good, very good. So this, for me, Gary, was the best episode of the series so far. There was a lot of shit going on in this episode, mate. I don't even know where to start. But first of all, before we do start talking about this episode, how did you feel about it?
I agree with you. It's the best episode so far.
Yeah, it was like the amount of revelations in this episode, as well as the twists and turns, and more questions being created, as well as not having all the answers being given to you, was amazing. And my brain was dropping. Were you a fan of Game of Thrones in the past, Bossman?
I liked it until the end.
Fair enough. I think
most people are on that boat, to be honest with
you. Well, I'll tell you one thing, Bossman. I felt this was a very Games of Thronesy sort of episode. You know, like a lot of what the fuck moments. So yeah. So anyway, let's start talking about the episode. So Bossman, young Sylvie, she's been taken in by Ravonna at the beginning of this episode. The TVA going through all the usual procedures, and then she escapes the TVA by stealing the travel device. So it just made me realize that her whole life was just growing up on the run. You know, no real education or anything really, other than being on the run. There was a bit of humanity to Sylvie, because as a young girl, she tried to help somebody who was in the TVA as well by saying, free him. So you can tell she's very different to our Loki in that sense alone. And we also get to see, before the credits kick in, we also get to see the timekeepers in all their, mechanical glory. Yeah, which was unusual. I'll be honest with you, prior to what was revealed later on during the course of this episode, I genuinely thought I was wrong regarding the timekeeper, because I think they tried to make it seem like the timekeepers don't exist, but then the timekeepers did exist, and then you realize they don't fucking exist. So that was all very
So I'm going to ask you a question now. You're probably going to say, I don't know, but who do you think is actually in charge? Do you think it's that lady? Because it can't be that lady, because she was always like Mobius, and that she was like an underling to begin with.
Yeah, but she does know. She definitely knows. Her name is Ravonna. And she definitely knows what's going on regarding the timekeepers. Regarding what's really happening behind the scenes. Now, in the comic books, Bossman, she is Kang the Conqueror's girlfriend, a love interest, or whatever you want to call it. And Kang the Conqueror obviously is a time traveling person himself. Oh, Gary's just slightly off there. I think he's got some communicational things, and he's back. Lovely sideburns, by the way, Gary. Nevertheless,
yes, Bobby, that joke's been cut to the ground. But here's what I generally think is, I think that it's probably something to do with Kang.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Because maybe this is the timeline that has to happen for him to take over.
Interesting, like he's been playing his pawns, but I felt he was already in charge, not taking over the TVA. I always thought he was in charge in the first place.
No. What I mean is that for him to take over the world, he has to keep this timeline, because it's all this timeline that he takes over the world. Well, that any deviation could mean that he doesn't take over the world.
Well, it seemed. But you remember in episode 2 when Sylvie was letting off all those time bombs through all those portholes, it seems that was resolved, because you saw Ravonna and Morbius having a drink later on, saying, "Oh, what are you worried about? Nothing to worry about. Everything's okay. We're going to meet the timekeepers. They're going to reward you," and stuff like that. So I felt that they resolved the situation of those time bombs, and that's why we're not really hearing about them that much. But a time breach happened because Loki fell in love with Loki, which is kind of unusual when they were holding hands prior to Lamentis being destroyed.
But as I said, I genuinely believe, as I said, what I said a minute ago, that this timeline stuff is so that in the future, I think like counts from like the year 3000 or something stupid like that. This is the timeline that has to happen for him to become the supreme ruler of Earth. That any sort of variant could get away with that because because the only thing that makes sense for because again the timekeepers don't exist. So and the thing is that it kind of is suggesting that's what's going on because you have the like sort of Big Brother esque sort of like poster in front of what's it B is it B-42 or something?
B-15.
B-15, yeah. B-15 like she has like basically like you're supposed to say obey, truth, justice, or whatever it is that the Big Brother posters say.
Lots of subliminal messaging for sure. Yeah, I know what you mean. Well, so go on.
I was going to say, but the thing that I found interesting was the fact that that he generally does care for Sylvie. That
I think he's attracted to her, dude.
I think it's mutual, to be honest with you.
More him than her.
The way that she was talking to him, it's like because I mean you think about the perfect match is because the perfect match for anybody is the female version of you. Like, because everyone says, "Oh, yes, she's my soul." Like the people you're gonna be attracted to are the people that have your interests. Because if I met a girl who's into the same nerdy stuff I was into, I think I'd be more attracted to that lady than I would be any other. To be fair.
Colin Cheetah said, in order for him to become Kang the Conqueror in the future, he manipulates the past.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, but I just feel like what's happening is like Ravonna, but like I said, Ravonna is Kang's girlfriend, and Ravonna seems to be trying to keep a lid on things and not trying to expand what's happening more than it has to. So I'm a bit on the fence regarding that, but it does make sense, and at the same time it doesn't make sense. Cousin Cheetah says he can't wait to meet the lady version of me. Me too. I would love to meet the lady version of me, and I'd bang the shit out of her as well. The only interest I agree with. I said I agree with Gary before that, yeah, for sure. So we've got to find out a little bit about C20. She was the girl who was manipulated by Sylvie in episode 3, at the beginning of episode 3. And apparently she's dead. Now, Morbius wanted to interview her and obviously rack her brain for information. But he can't do that now because she's dead. Now, the TVA definitely killed her. And without a doubt now, Bossman, the TVA are the bad guys, or whoever runs the TVA. I mean, see how horrible they were to Sylvie at the beginning. She's just a fucking child. Just walked in there, Ravonna being part of the troopers at the time. Just walked in there, just took her. That was it. Terrible.
I just loved it. I just loved it when they took her and says, "Why did you take me?" He says, "I can't remember." It's just like she's that important. She's not that important to her.
Yep. No.
And the other thing that I liked about this episode was the fact that we got so much depth from Loki that he's literally saying, like, I can tolerate you lying to me about that. That I can respect. I can't respect you lying to yourself. And it's just like, oh right. So again, we get to know more about Loki's personality. That there are things that he can, look after.
Yep. Well, I just want to quickly answer Bandit here. Thank you very much, Bandit, for noticing Captain America's shield and Thor's hammer. I will soon be getting Iron Man's helmet, and my holy trinity will be complete, and I will rule the world. Ha 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 ha.
That's what you did.
So where was I? So Loki tells Morbius, by the way, that the TVA are lying. He never mentioned the variants yet, but he did tell them the TVA is lying. And Morbius is constantly on guard around Loki because he knows he's a world-class bullshit artist. So just to punish Loki a little bit and just to wear him down, he throws him into a time loop with Lady Sif, who keeps slapping him over. So how did you find that scene? I thought it was brilliant.
Well, Yeah, because he literally goes, "Oh, I said I remember this. I just go and have a bath and I drink
Yeah, he
some
did.
wine," and then he just gets done it over and over and over again. And it's
And am I
just
getting
like,
Black Widow's ass, by the way? Anyway, sorry, go on. I apologize for interrupting.
but yeah, it's just like and you just see it. It's just like that's such a clever thing.
Yeah, I agree. Just want to quickly
Uh,
look. People are going on about my goddamn shelf. Yeah, if you have a trilogy, I will put them up there. So after Tony Stark, the next person to go up there might be the Guardians, or it might be Ant-Man. But Stark's first. I'm not going to get Hulk's hand. I'm not getting Hawkeye's bow. I'm not getting Black Widow's ass. I'm not getting any of that shit. All right? There's only so much that shelf can fucking handle. All right. Okay. Apparently, Bandits has got the ass of Black Widow, but we're straying away from what's important here. So, yeah, I did like personally. I like the scene very much, and these are sort of the moments during the course of the show that's kind of putting course correcting Loki that he ends up being a good guy because there's a lot of things. And by the way, did you hear how they mentioned vampires? Morbius mentioned that very briefly. Yeah,
no, I didn't.
like,
I didn't hear that.
because like they've brought in Titans and Kree and all types of things, including vampires, and because of that, I feel there's a setup for Blade possibly along the way because I
Well,
was always head scratching.
it's probably more of a setup for Morbius.
No, because that's Sony MCU, dude, and that's a whole different ball game. Yeah, the only thing Sony MCU that is in the MCU is Spider-Man. It won't be Morbius. It won't be Morpheus, is it? Morpheus, I think his name is.
Well, it is Morbius, the living vampire.
Okay, fair enough. And it definitely won't be Venom. But I do feel that with Blade already mentioned earlier on by, with Kevin Feige getting Mashallah Ali to play him, and it always made me wonder how vampires were going to play a part in this world if they come in through different timelines and multiverses and stuff like that. That would work for me. Yeah, there's definitely a Blade reference. Yeah, for sure, which was pretty cool. So B-15, remember, one of the hunters, B-15, knows that there was one of the people who also got mind controlled, just like C-20 did. The B-15 is still walking around working for the TVA, but she's got doubts in her mind now, and she tells Morbius, "What was the last thing Loki said to you?" And Loki said to Morbius said to B-15 that the last thing Loki said to me was the TVA are lying to you, and that just added more doubts. The seeds are being sown against the TVA by Loki speaking to the TVA agents. Morbius has a talk and Loki has a talk. And Loki's trying to tell the truth to Morbius, but the bloody truth is not working. So the only way Loki can get further with Loki is by fucking lying to him, by spinning a tale that him and Sylvie have been working all along to try to take down the TVA, which isn't the case as far as Loki's concerned. But the truth ain't fucking working. And he finally mentions to him that all the fucking TVA staff are variants. And then we have B-15 talking to Sylvie. And you go back to Roxconn, that in Alabama, which that place got destroyed. She gets all her memories back, shows her past life. There was a lot here. Anything you want to say about that, Bossman?
I would love to see more of their past lives, like maybe like we see flashes or maybe like hints at it, and because like as I said, like because it's such a small, tightly written show. I mean, you can't really go into everybody's background, so I just love it to maybe like we see like flashes of like when she's doing the green thing to B-15, like we see flashes of the things she's seen, or I mean, I suppose like I like the fact that it's not because like we get to imagine what it is like she's imagining and stuff like that, or love to see who Morbius was before he was in the TVA and all that sort of stuff. So
yeah, exactly, I agree. Now, this is the one thing of this episode. If there was a downer for me of this episode, it was the relationship between Morbius and Ravonna, because I don't feel some of that was earned during the course of this. Like, they look very intimate, those two. You know, like they might have had a little bit of flirty going on or whatever. But Morbius, even though like a lot of the stuff has been resolved regarding TVA, with both Lokis have been taken in and they've sorted out all the catastrophes regarding the timeline, so nothing to worry about there. But nevertheless, because they're like together having drinks, Morbius is still asking questions regarding C20, and Ravonna is deflecting these questions. He doesn't want to go on about this, and Morbius is also hoping that now he's done this really good job for the TVA, that he'll hopefully get to meet the timekeepers. And that was supposed to happen. But Morbius is also still having doubts of his own. And he, after leaving Ravonna, he takes her phone or her fucking tablet or whatever, and then goes into like a library and starts looking at some of the information and realizes that C20 was telling the truth, that she is a variant. And Ravonna's in on this. She knows that. She's trying to keep everything stum. And then after freeing Loki, because he knows that Loki was telling the truth, they go outside. He says that he tries to lie to Ravonna by saying, you know, I had your phone by accident. Ravonna's not buying it. He knows that, and then basically said to her, I'd love to be back on a jet ski in my like it was in my previous life. And then unfortunately for him, he gets pruned. Now that shocked the fuck out of me to see him die. Possible. I didn't. If he is dead, he might not be dead.
I thought there was like some sort of romantic tension between him and Ravonna with the way that they talk, and the way that they looked at each other. Is sort of like, like she liked him, you know, in a romantic way, that like, because they had good chemistry. And maybe that's just down to Boy Bolton and that actress, but.
I just didn't feel some of that was earned during it, because like I would have liked to have seen some of that bonding in the earlier episodes between those two. We could have got that maybe in episode 3 when we were not always with Loki and Sylvie, but we never saw any of that. So them to be all cuddly, you know, and having drinks and shit, it just didn't feel it didn't feel right, especially knowing that Ravonna is also Kang's fucking girlfriend too. But anyways,
But that's how she kept it sweet, that she flirted with him.
Yeah, for sure. But were you shocked when you saw? I mean, look, we know there's more to being pruned than dying, but at the time prior to the mid-credit scene, I actually genuinely thought that if you get pruned, you're dead. Yeah,
that's what I thought you were out of existence.
So when you saw that happen to Morbius, were you like, what the fuck? Because that was first thing I think to myself, shit, they're doing Games of Thrones type levels of twists here. You know, I didn't see this coming. That was amazing. I fucking loved the show just for that alone. So
definitely.
So because of that, and now Morbius is out the picture, both Lokis are now being taken to the timekeepers for some bizarre reason, just for the timekeepers to boast in front of them to kill them, which I found very weird, don't you think, boss man? Like, why take them to the timekeeper? Just fucking prune them there and then. Yeah, you don't need timekeepers, but they did.
I think it's just that she knew that they were dangerous, so she had to make a show of it for everybody else. So she has to do a song and dance routine.
I like that answer very much.
Because you got to remember that, like, you know, because they're very high level variants, that the only people that the timekeepers would want to see. So like you know, like she'd be like going. So like she had to do the song, because if she just put them there, then it'd be like, well, these people have basically been killing all of our you know, agents, our best agents. You know, they betrayed us and blah blah blah. You know, they would get special treatment. So she did that song and dance for them.
Well, we don't know if Loki survived because of outside circumstances. Morbius might actually be dead. Yeah, I mean, the good thing about all of this right now, Cousin Gio, is it's really hard to determine what the fuck's going on, and I love it. I love it for that. But they get judged, and then B15 comes in with, bless you, mate, bless you. All right, you're looking a bit under the weather today, mate.
You
okay?
Yeah.
No problem.
Okay. A bit.
No problem, man. He's just taking a look at Boss Man here. He's having to take his pills and stuff. Anyways, I'll continue whilst he's taking his medicine. So, when prior to the to both Lokis getting judged, B-15 comes in with the save and throws a blade, and then next you know we have a little shitty generic fight scene, which I didn't feel this episode warranted a fight scene for the sake of it. But the Lokis get one over on the TVA.
When she cut off the guy's head and he was a robot, I mean, it's like, oh, it's all bullshit. So who is in charge of this? And then once he realised that, it's like, is she in charge of it? It's like, is Ravonna in charge of it? Is it somebody else? I mean, like, because again, Ravonna doesn't seem like the type that she can run shit. I think that she works for somebody else.
Okay. Well,
I'm not saying that she's not competent. It just seems from the way that she talks to people and that the fact that she made that mistake to do with young Loki to begin with. That
chopping off the head boss man of that TVA of that timekeeper was like, okay, I'm not surprised. By the way, one of the other timekeepers, the one on the bottom left, he looked like somebody who belongs in a Dr. Seuss comic, his moustache and shit. I couldn't help but thinking to myself, this guy's fucking from Dr. Seuss's fucking books and stuff. Nevertheless, the timekeepers we realized the timekeepers are a bunch of fakes, and now we have some more questions here. Who the fuck who is really in charge of all of this shit? Is it still a bunch of people? Is it an individual? What the fuck's going on? You know, it's more empty than ever. But whilst I believe Loki, Lorax, for sure. By the way, I think Loki was about to tell Sylvie that he loved her. Was that the case?
Yeah, because the way that he was holding on to his
the
way he's holding on to his and says, "There's something I want to tell you," and he's just like, that was really sweet. I mean, I don't. It's thing is that I've gone past it being icky now. It's like it's kind of something I want to see because like it's actually growth for Loki that he feels that way.
Yeah, I don't mind it either as well. I don't know if you still consider that to be incest, but if I was able to fuck myself and she was really hot, yeah, I'd do it. I need to scratch my nose as I say that. But yeah, I'd do it. All right. Anyways, where are we? So Loki gets pruned just before he manages to say what he's supposed to say, and I thought, holy shit, we're gonna probably throw it. If I do, the thing is, this is the problem when you do it, a shock like that, a twist like that. You have to understand that if you're going to do a twist like that, don't show us in trailers of Loki still being alive, because we haven't seen those scenes yet in the show. So that's what pissed me off about that as well, because I know Loki's coming back in some capacity, whether it be a different version of him. But nevertheless, I know he was coming back because we still see Loki. We've seen clips of Loki in the trailers that haven't appeared yet in this show. You understand?
Yeah.
And that's bad on Disney to do shit like that. It annoys me. So we do know Loki's going to come back, and then Sylvie has a chance to kill Ravonna, but doesn't. She wants to know everything. So hopefully we'll get some more reveals next week. But then we cut to the mid-credit scene, which is the picture of this stream, and we find out that he is not dead. He's not in hell, but he will be dead unless he goes with the 4 Lokis we saw in that picture. There was 4, by the way. There was both for Loki. There's both for Loki. There's young Loki. There's original Loki, and there's Crocodile Loki, which was in the hands of young Loki. Have a look at the picture. Crocodile Loki is being held by the kid.
Oh, I thought there's the old one, the young one, and then there's the black one.
Well, the black one, I believe, is both for Loki, and I'm not so sure if he was holding a version of Mjolnir. Yeah, and if that was the case, maybe that Loki's worthy of that particular timeline. And yeah, Pet Loki. You saw the crocodile too, didn't you, Bob? So I'm not sure if that Loki's worthy or not. He could be like a totally, but then you got Richard E. Grant, dressed up in full Loki outfit, from like the comic books, and you got the kid Loki as well. And it made me wonder, like, Loki's not the first person to be pruned. So where the fuck are all these other people ending up? Are they ending up with different dimensions? I mean, what the fuck's going on here?
Well, I think that's what happens, that they go to somewhere else, I think.
Yeah, for sure. But by the looks of things on that picture, let me just pull up this. Let me see if I can pull up this picture, boss man. 1 second. I do have it somewhere in my files. Let's see if I can pull this picture up. Picture. Okay, I got it here. All right, let me see if I can share this with you. This has got the title of Spoiler Debate on it too, but nevertheless, I'll share this picture.
So
here we go. Let's expand this. So what we can see by the looks of things, what I've heard from other people, is that these buildings here are in New York. So they're in New York. Can you see the crocodile, by the way, on the kid's lap?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a version of Loki too. The black guy playing Loki on the left, he's both for Loki. Now, like I said, that this could be Thor's hammer, a version of Mjolnir. It could be, and it'd be amazing that we have a Loki who is worthy. That'd be pretty cool. But I love Richard E. Grant and this ridiculous costume, which is straight out from the comic books. Those fucking horns, mate. And Kid Loki too. But the funny thing is, boss man, if all of these Lokis, if for argument's sake, let's just say you can see the wrecked Avengers Tower. Yes, I think it's just there under this guy's arm, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the funny thing is, let's just say for argument's sake, this guy on the left isn't worthy and this isn't Mjolnir. We're all of these motherfuckers, including the crocodile, might be backstabbing bullshit artists, and he's going to be aligning himself with backstabbing bullshit artists. And Loki being Loki himself, will he still try to fuck over the people he's aligning himself with because he just can't help himself? Or has he finally turned a new leaf? Because Morbius did say that maybe even you could be a good guy, but this is something Morbius said before he died. Hopefully that will lead up to the case, because I'm not always the biggest fan of bad guys turning into good guys, but I will make an exception for Loki.
Well, I don't.
No,
the thing is,
okay.
I don't think he's a quote unquote good guy. I think the fact that he's an anti-hero is the same way. Same way that Venom is.
Okay.
The thing is that I'm against like bad guys becoming good guys just in general. To be honest with you, unless it's like part of the character arc, like with Loki, I think it is part of his character arc that he goes to be good, but once he falls in love and stuff like that, that is part of his story, which is fine. Again, I don't have a problem with that. He did change. I mean, Loki was a good guy by the end of Infinity Gauntlet. Well, because he'd like him and Thor were getting on and stuff like that, and he wasn't doing his tricks, and he
genuinely died. By the way, he genuinely died. There was no resurrection. Thanos said that if it wasn't for the fact of the Avengers going back in time, Loki would not be existing right now. So it's very unusual, all of this, but nevertheless, let's just get rid of this now. Nevertheless, it's all been set up now. I'm dying to see where Loki goes with this. It's a shame, really, that we're almost at the end of this show, because we've got 2 more episodes left, and I feel there's a lot of stuff that needs to be answered. And I feel unless they extend the episodes, it's going to be very hard to resolve all this. And not only that, but we're bringing in new characters into the show, like those three guys. Let me show them again, like these three guys. And we've only got 2 episodes to get any sort of character development out of these 4 guys, including this bloody crocodile. It'll be interesting to see what this crocodile offers. I can't wait to see. The crocodile has got me the most intrigued. Like, how do you get a character out of this fucking thing? But nevertheless, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Are they all going to backstab each other, or they're all going to play jokes and tricks on each other? Or our Loki try to play jokes and tricks on these Lokis? Are they different? You know, are they right now playing a practical joke on him? Maybe he is dead. You know, and this is all just a part of the joke. Who knows? There's so much shit. I am very much looking forward to all of this. This is a really good. This is what you call a cliffhanger, boss man. Because last week when you had the cliffhanger of the planet being destroyed, that's not a cliffhanger. Episode 2 had a great cliffhanger with the time bombs. Episode 3's cliffhanger with the planet being destroyed was a shit cliffhanger because they're going to get out of it. You're not worried about them dying. But this is a great cliffhanger at the end of episode 4 because what the fuck is going to go on?
Yeah,
what the fuck's going on here? Like, I don't know. And that is excellent. I cannot wait for next week. I'm gagging for it. Until then, I'll have to be watching The Bad Batch. And by the way, if you're not watching The Bad Batch, you should. It's getting better again. But yeah, I can't wait, man. And I'm really hoping we get to see Kang in this show because I feel it warrants his presence because old Loki will be the main canon Loki. What, Richard E. Grant on the right?
Yeah.
But they're all Lokis. It's just amazing. They're all from different dimensions. This is multiverse shit we're seeing right here, without a doubt. You mean people kind of got an idea of the multiverse and was like trying to say, yeah, this is multiverse. Evan Peters came in as Pietro when he was really Ralph Boner saying this is multiverse. I still believe that Evan Peters' character Ralph Boner can still be Pietro. I mentioned that in one of my videos. Have a check on the YouTube channel to see how I explain that. But this for me is multiverse right here, without a doubt. You got 4, including our Loki. You got 5 fucking Lokis in altogether. Actually 6, including Sylvie. So Sylvie, our Loki, Crocodile, Kid, Black, White. It's incredible, and I can't wait to see where this goes. This is the multiverse. We're seeing it on this picture right here. Brilliant. And I'm very excited, boss man. I'm very excited. I hope the next episode can deliver the hype I feel for it. And it pisses me off that it's a week away.
But this is why I wish it was a little bit longer, because he gets his time to develop these characters that we've already found out existed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Get off my lawn, Loki. There's no Harrison Ford Loki for sure. And I'm glad there isn't. But yeah, 6 episodes doesn't feel like enough. I really hope they can do this show justice. I really can. Oh man, this is just amazing.
Well, if they finish it off with introducing Kang, I think that might be cool.
I hope so. And Kang has to get away. Like, Kang can't die. He has to survive. I don't want my villains dying, by the way. I want my villains living.
Well, welcome to the Marvel universe.
Well, many have lived to tell the tale. I'm very pissed off. I mean, you seen the trailers for Shang-Chi?
No.
And I won't mention it anymore. But nevertheless,
is it
No. But if you haven't seen the trailer, then I'm going to be spoiling stuff for you, and I'm doing you a favor, boss man, by not saying any more than I have to. If you do find out what I'm trying to hold back in, what I'm trying to refrain myself from telling you, then fair dues. But there are stuff which came out in the trailers that should not have been revealed in the trailers, and it's really pissing me off because it spoils things. It spoils the movie that you're about to watch. What if a version of Kang dies here, but it's the oldest version of Kang. Yeah, they're doing a reverse Flash, aren't they? They're doing a reverse Flash there, boss man. I'm not sure about that. I want Kang to be a prime being, like Wanda. Is it a prime being? Prime mutant?
It's stuff like this that's making me think. Well, I want to see how the Flash movie goes now, and how they deal with it, because they might deal with it in a totally different way.
I think people are expecting Flashpoint in the Flash movie. Sorry for the tangent here.
Well, that is what they're doing, because they've got Michael Keaton as
but it's not a play for play. It's their own version of it. Like, it's going to be different, but it's going to be similar, which is I'm fine with, because I wouldn't want the exact same version of an animated show on the silver screen, because then there's no surprises. I would like, obviously, for there to be enough of a difference to keep me on my toes in what I'm watching. Like Invincible. When Invincible came out, the television show on Amazon Prime, it was different to the comics, even though it followed similar beats to the comics. But it was different enough that it kept you on your toes, so you weren't. Not everything was predictable. And I hope they do the same with the Flash movie. Then the one. Anyway, what's he saying here? Then the ones we encounter is following movies is the younger versions. Okay, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Yeah, versions. I get you. Okay. So, Bossman, I think we're done here, mate. There's not much more to say other than I can't wait till next week. Have you got anything to add?
No, that's it for me.
Fantastic. Okay, well, to everyone who's been watching this stream, please like, share, subscribe, comment on NerdTube. We are the best YouTube channel you've never heard of. Time travel, fair enough. Okay, best YouTube channel you've never heard of. So don't forget to subscribe to us, and we'll make each other famous. Thank you very much, Bossman, for joining.
Thank you.
And thank you very much to everyone else. What books you read? I'll tell you that next time, bandits. But we're off now. See you later. Bye-bye.